Inshallah, I think we can start, right?
जी जी
Can, yeah, we will go through first of all. Okay, Assalamu alaikum. Good evening to you all. Thank you very much for joining this program in this wonderful evening. First of all, we would like to invite our brother Sulaiman Patel to give the introduction about lights of kindness and our guest speaker of this evening, Brother Idris Khamisa. Brother Sulaiman.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu wa rahmatullah.
Okay, Alhamdulillah, we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for granting us this opportunity to listen to advices from our experience and our elders so that we can put some benefit into our life, inshallah. So firstly, we would like to say a few words on behalf of Light of Kindness Initiative. Lights of Kindness Social Assistance Drive is an initiative of a few generous brothers and sisters to help and support those who are in need. We have launched our activities from 1st March 2020 this year as a community support drive to attend to the hardships of COVID-19. Our initiatives in summary are as follows. We distribute dry ration, snacks, fruits, water, bus traveling fees, and go-karts, hats, soft drinks, and safety materials to low-income workers. We organize COVID-19 awareness sessions.
You put on Zoom, you get on Zoom.
Brother Sulaiman, unmute yourself. Brother Sulaiman, unmute yourself.
Is that fine? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to one and all. Firstly, we would like to say a few words about Lights of Kindness Initiative. Lights of Kindness Social Assistance Drive is an initiative of few generous brothers and sisters to help and support those who are in need. We have launched our activities from 1st March this year as a community support drive to attend to the hardships of COVID-19. Our initiatives in summary are as follows. We distribute dry ration, snacks, fruits, water, bus traveling, free go-karts, hats, soft drinks, and safety material to low-income workers. We organize COVID-19 awareness sessions by particular field experts and providing medical advice by experts and participating in blood donation camps. We provide information and guidance regarding the workers traveling back to countries. Organize counseling sessions, conduct youth development and talent programs. We also organize free online spoken English classes for low-income workers. We are ready to extend our hand for all those needy ones and expecting your support and cooperation. Now, it gives me great pleasure to introduce a world-renowned guest speaker and our guest speaker for this evening, Brother Idris Khamisa from South Africa. Brother Idris Khamisa is an international consultant in education and human development. Brother Idris began his career as a teacher of English. His passion and expertise for the subject culminated in his nomination as the chairman of the English Society of South Africa. He has also been a head teacher of 3 schools. He has conducted numerous workshops in Australia, United States, England, Canada, Middle East, Nigeria, Lusaka, Mozambique, Botswana, Bangladesh, Malaysia, and throughout South Africa. His topics range from leadership, youth development, moving from efficiency to effectiveness to excellence, from information to transformation, moving from good to great, inspiring teachers, creating in schools dynamics of marriage, parenting in the 21st century, family dynamics in the 21st century, and project management. He promotes excellence wherever he goes, subhanallah. All in all, he is a dynamic individual with diverse talents. And now I take this opportunity in welcoming Brother Idris Khamisa for his wonderful experience that he will be sharing with us this evening. Jazakallahu khairan to everybody that has joined and has participated. We call upon our esteemed and senior guest, Brother Idris Khamisa.
Jazakallah khair, mashallah. Excellent.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, the Lord of all the worlds, to whom we belong, to whom is our return, and may His choicest blessings go to the highest of Allah's creation, our beloved Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the most generous in companionship, the most gentle in speech, indeed the most eloquent ambassador to humanity at large. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I want to begin by just giving you an idea about the format of this evening's program. The first thing I'm going to speak about is why I chose this topic. The second thing I'm going to speak about, what does it mean to be living in the past? The third thing I'm going to speak about, signs that you are living in the past. The fourth thing I want to speak about, inshallah, why people should not live in the past. The fifth thing, how can you stop living in the past? And last but not least, benefits of living in the present. So this topic, that your past is a point of reference and not your residence. As human beings, we are exposed to all kinds of things in our life. Things that will bring us joy, things that will bring us sadness. And it is these experiences that shape the way we see ourselves and the world around us. Yes, people do think about their past. But the people who live in the past are people that are denying themselves an opportunity of living in the present. Because your past is important. Now, the reason why I chose this topic is because I do lots of counseling. And in the counseling, it is unbelievable. Unbelievable how many people, could I just recommend that you mute your speakers, please, man? There's sound coming, right? So how many people, for example, when I talk to them, they would bring about repetitive issues about the past, and they cannot come out of that trap, and they cannot look ahead in the future. You know, one man said this, and I thought he made a mistake. He says, my wife gets historical. So someone said, do you mean hysterical? He says, no, historical. If I tell her, darling, my loved one, I'm sorry, then she'll remind me of what happened in 1914, 1915, 1916, 1919, so on and so forth. That's one. Just the other day, a young lady called me. She said to me, I'm very concerned about my father. And so I visited the home. The father, really, Allah bless him, was such a wonderful human being. And what was the issue? He said, you know, my mind, I don't think of anything except my past. I don't think of anything except about the mistakes I made. I cannot come out of it. And really, you know, my heart went out to him. And he finds it very, very difficult to concentrate, very difficult present. So we got to understand that in life, the critical thing is the only time that is under our control is the now, and it is the now that prepares us for a future. And someone also said it quite beautifully. He said that you must also learn to reinvent your past. I thought that was very, very powerful. You learn more from failure than from success. There's a book called Failing Forward. You learn more from failure than from success. So I took this advice about reinventing your past in a very positive way. You know, as people say, you must forget the mistakes, but you mustn't forget the lessons that you could have learned from those mistakes. Now, let me give you a very simple example. Let us say you regret the way, the time you spent with your mom and dad. There wasn't enough time you spent with them, and now that they are gone, you are so regretful. But you could use a negative experience in a positive way. What could you do? You could, for example, tell people, whilst you got your mom and dad, be there for them. Don't be like me, and I regret this so much. And in that way, what you are doing, you are turning that into a positive experience. You are teaching others the lessons that you have learned. So it's very, very important to, when you look back at the past, you don't stay there. You don't stay there, right? Because I would discuss in a moment, you know, what happens, right? Now, what does it mean that you are living in the past? What does it mean?
Khalil asking for water is.
Khalil Abbas is asking for water.
Khalil, asking for water.
So, could you mute your, anyway, I don't know, right? So anyway, the critical thing is this, that you as an individual, if you are living in the past, that means you are going through an interior dialogue. That means you are looking back at your past either with nostalgia or with pain. It means that you're putting no importance to the present. That means you're not acknowledging people around you. It means that you have not you do not have closure about what has happened in the past. It also means, as such, that your life that you're leading is not one that is based on any kind of reality except the reality of the past. So what are the signs that you are living in the past? What are the signs? Often people who live in the past, they often blame themselves for everything. And when you meet them, they are embittered individuals. They do not forgive themselves or others. Also, you hold on to experiences, be it negative or positive. And one thing I want to say here to you, the psychologists have said revealing is healing. And therefore, Islam places great value on prayer, great value on friendship. And studies have shown that if you have good friends around you, it's unlikely you'll go through any kind of depression because you are talking to them all the time about your day-to-day reality. And once you keep things and bottle it up, you are going to implode. And once you implode, that itself now will be self-destructive. So I want everyone to understand that. The other signs that you are living, the other thing about you're living in the past, you are terrified of any kind of change, right? And you find that as a result of it, you appear to be negative about your future. You become like a spectator in your life. You have given up life as it were. And that is grossly, grossly unfair on people around you, which I'm going to speak about, inshallah. Now, the critical thing we need to ask yourself, what are the physical and psychological issues when you live in the past? Studies have shown that your negative thoughts will affect your mind and your health. It can lead to stress, depression, insomnia, anorexia, obesity. All in all, it affects your productivity in the workplace. And what it does, also, you become inaccessible to people around you. Even when you are in company, you are so preoccupied about the past, you do not participate in this discussion. When you are preoccupied about the past, you do not affirm the people that you're supposed to love. And when you are preoccupied with the past, you are bound to regret it when you are in the twilight years of your life. And then you would say, how I wish I affirm my beloved wife. How I wish I affirm my family. How I wish I was present. How I wish I was more productive. Because the reality is, your reality is, you alone can allow the past to affect you. How much it affects you, it depends on you. Yes, you got to deal with this. You got to talk about it. And this is a very critical aspect. Now, the question is this: how can you stop living in the past? The critical thing is, the first thing you need to do amongst the many, many things, you got to ask yourself, what is my purpose on this earth? Am I fulfilling my purpose? What should I be doing? Do I have goals? Do I have aspirations? Am I fulfilling my responsibilities? Am I appreciating Allah's creation? When I look out and look at the greenery, do I appreciate the grandeur of Allah? When people are talking to me, do I appreciate what they are saying? Do I appreciate the emotions of the words? Am I acknowledging them? Right? And another way to stop living in the past is to acknowledge your pain. Yes, acknowledge your pain and then allow it to heal. You cannot suppress it. You've got to acknowledge your pain. And all of us have gone through pain. And you know what? The reality is this, my beloved brothers and sisters. We sometimes assume that people that are smiling, people that are active, people that are doing well, have had a beautiful past. There are no tensions, nothing. But once you engage them, you realize that many of them have gone through many, many challenges, right? The other important thing is this, that you got to learn from your experiences. As a believer, we are told you should not be stung by the same hole twice. And for a believer, right, every day must be better than the previous day. Next thing, do not play the victim. Do not have a victim mentality. Do not become a spectator in your life. Do not feel the world owes you a living. You can take ownership of your life with Allah's guidance. Next way, dealing with the past, you got to surround yourself with wonderful people. People that are not toxic, people that are loving, caring. You must learn to focus on every day. Do things that you love. Do a lifestyle audit. And most importantly, you must pray. Very, very importantly, that you must pray. Now, you may say, for example, it's very easy for him to speak. It's very easy. Remember this, in life, the critical thing is this. You should not sabotage your own life. You should not sabotage your life with self-defeating beliefs. You must not sabotage your life by pining about things that you ought to have done differently. You remember, nothing happens except with the will of Allah. Right? Now, let us look at this whole issue of what are the benefits of living in the present. What are the benefits? Firstly, when you are living in the present, that means you are alive. When you are living in the present, you are saying to yourself that I can do things. When you are living in the present, it shows that you are able, you have the capacity to move forward. When you are living in the present, what does it mean? It means that whoever is around you, you acknowledge their presence, you greet them, you're able to engage in a conversation, you're able to give them nasihah. By you living in the present, when you're reading your salah, you are talking to Allah. You are there with Allah. When you are prostrating, even your heart is prostrating. You're not preoccupied with other stuff, right? So this is important. And when you are present, how can you be present? Is to smell the beautiful roses. When you are present, look around you. When you are present, look at your fingers, feel your fingers. When you are present, when you are eating the food, each morsel of food, thank Allah. Right? When you are present, write down a journal to show your gratitude. And you can have 1,000 pages. These pages will never be enough when you are able to show your gratitude to Allah. And you may say this whole topic about living in the past is a very narrow topic. Let me tell you, my beloved brothers and sisters, there are too many people living in the past. Yes, it's true. We need to speak about the glorious past of Islam, the glorious history of Islam. But we cannot bask in the glory. You must say, how can we also do things that the Islam of the past, glorious, it must also be glorious today. We must also ask the question, what am I doing in this present moment, right? And it's true, as someone said, the present moment is a gift. It's a gift, and that's very, very important, very, very critical. And the point I made earlier on, you must do a lifestyle audit, right? And confront yourself. Ask yourself, right? Ask yourself, am I engaging people? Ask yourself, am I participatory? Ask yourself, right? Socially, am I having conversations with people? Ask yourself these questions. And remember, when you are living in the present, you'll be vigilant about every day of your life. You'll be able to reflect on each day and ask yourself, how did I spend this time? And when you are able to liberate yourself from the past, suddenly you'll be able to unleash your complete potential. You'll be able to develop as a human being. You'll be able to be a contributor to society. Remember that. Remember that. And therefore, Allah is so, so merciful. So, so merciful. When you raise your hands to Allah, and when you raise your hands and ask Allah for forgiveness, and when He forgives you, every past sin of yours is forgiven. When people embrace Islam, the past is wiped out. They're like a newborn child. And a simple question you could ask yourself, by me living in the past, is it helping me? Is it making me happy? Or is it making me sad? Is it making me bitter? Is it making me depressed? Okay? Am I getting emotional about it? Am I indulging in self-pity? And you realize, yes, it is true. So I think the important thing is this. in the end, the bottom line, get up every day with a purpose and say that I'm going to do some things differently today. That today, when I meet people, I'm going to focus on them and not on my thoughts. That today, I'm going to celebrate my love with my family. That today, I'm going to have goals and aspirations, right? So what I want to do, the topic is very, very wide. I'll stop here and I would love to take questions, inshallah. Jazakumullah.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Walaikum salam.
Idris Hamis Hassab, I am a big fan of yours, and I have met you when you came to
Alhamdulillah.
India during the International Conference for Educators in 2015 and
Oh,
16.
alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. So nice to hear that. Gee.
Yes. So, mashallah, it was a great topic that you covered. And as you beautifully said, for a moment, no 2 days should be the same. But what happens is 95% of the routine work, which I did yesterday, I'm doing it today as well. So when you talk about the meaningful and the purposeful life, can those purpose change as we progress in our lives?
Yes,
How can we
it can.
define that?
Okay. Yes, it can change. You see, the whole thing is this. The one is that you must look at it from a qualitative point of view. That whilst your routine might have been the same, the routine might be the same, but it's also about is your heart in the routine. For example, you know what, we get so busy sometimes in doing things that we forget that we need to leave a legacy. We need to do things in the community. I mean, there's a beautiful example. I think it was one morning, and our Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam asked a question to this effect. How many of you visited a sick person today? And I'm not too sure the sequence, how the workers, they put his hand up. So how many of you followed a janazah, he had his hand up? How many of you are fasting, he had his hand up? And everything he asked, Abu Bakr Siddiq did everything. That was early in the morning, right? So Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, then all 8 doors of Jannah will welcome you. But the point is this, there's a big difference in being busy, in doing the mundane routine thing, then doing the critical thing. As we as believers, I'm not saying what you're doing is dull and monotonous. We've got to make sure we are doing things, inshallah, that will bring us closer to Allah. That when we are reading our prayers, that every day our intensity, our concentration is improving. I think this lockdown period has really been a gift to us, a reset button. It gives us an opportunity. You know, it is like an itikaf, an opportunity to reflect on our life and to say, you know what, we need to change the way we are dealing with people and things, you know. So the whole thing is this, you got to ask yourself in your routine, what is involved in the routine? Do you have higher goals in the routine? How many people's lives benefit from my routine? Okay, Jazakumullah.
Yeah, Jazakumullah khair, Sheikh, for the beautiful answer. And I thank the TEC team and Hanif Bhai for the wonderful arrangement of these sessions. Please continue.
Thank you for joining, Brother Ali, mashallah. And the floor is open. The questions are welcome. Any other questions?
I have one question which is being asked by my friend through a chat. He asked us that when you tell that surround yourself with positive people or the people who motivates you, but he says that in his office he has negative people, in his home he has negative people. Now how can he make sure that he is surrounded by all positive people, and also those negative people are important part of his life? So how can we deal with them, and how can we make our life beautiful?
Yeah, no, it's a good question. You see, if you got negative people around you because of circumstances, then you got to make sure you are positive, that you are an inspiration, that you shape their attitudes and values rather than them shaping you. They say you are the average of the 5 people closest to you. And the 5 people closest to you are toxic people or whatever. There is a greater chance they will influence you. So it's very, very important, without sermonizing and whatnot, that you are a positive influence. You can have a great, great impact on them. You've got to be acutely aware of that, you know.
Great. Thanks.
Okay, there are two questions here on the chat here. The one is, okay, how do you overcome the challenge of forgiving the people who hurt you, right? You know what? You need to look at the life of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Such a beautiful example. Our Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said words to this effect: forgive those who hurt you and do good to those who harm you. And when you forgive people, it is liberating for you. When you forgive people, you find that you feel much better. And when you forgive people, inshallah, Allah will also forgive you. And an important thing is this: it does not mean you mustn't learn from your mistakes. It does not mean when you forgive someone, you're condoning what they did. It does not mean when you forgive someone, that means you're going to continue to have the same type of relationship with them. It's not that. You've got to sometimes forgive people and maintain a bit of distance, because you don't want to get hurt twice. There's an earlier question there of someone, the whole idea about post-traumatic stress, and he wants to know how can he continue to motivate himself, right? So the whole thing is this: in life, you know, in life, what's very, very important, the one way of recovering from post-traumatic stress disorder is to take out the pain that you have gone through, because it is the PTSD shapes the way you look at people and the world around you, right? But in the end, the critical thing is you can't sit back, you see. For us as believers, you've got to have a goal in life, you've got to have purpose in life, you've got to be an avid reader, you've got to make sure that you are with great people around you. And then once you have a purpose and you begin to evaluate it and refine your purpose, you would be fine. And there's no harm, you know, some days you don't feel so good. This is the nature of life. Some days you will not feel so good, but do not allow that to make you feel that you are now going to feel like that forever. And I always say this: you are in the bend in the road and not the end in the road. Any more questions? Okay, the question was asked here that you said about how to forget past, but things keep on reminding about past through some people, how to change that into positive. You see, if someone speaks about a past, right, a painful past, you know, you can make it a point of reference. You don't have to go and stay there, right? You don't have to. You don't have to allow it to continue to make it part of who you are. You understand? And sometimes you got to tell people also, you know, that's my past there. I've gotten over it, and I prefer, you know, need to talk about, other things. And it's important, you see. That's why there is a reason why we remember our past. Why? Because we do not forget the mistakes we made, that we make sure we do new things. We make sure that we do not repeat those mistakes, right? You learn from it. If one did suffer from suffer, what is the best way to overcome it, right? The best way there are many ways to overcome it. You need to see a psychologist or some counselor who knows that, and he would use different techniques in which he'll allow you to take out everything that's inside you, you know, your anger, your bitterness, and it is quite emotional and cathartic. You'll cry and whatnot, but it will give you, inshallah, closure, inshallah. So you need to see a professional person, right? how does one deal with the past and family feuds? You know what? I think all of us have some kind of past, and most people, for example, would have had some kind of family feuds, right? Yeah. The important thing is you must not exacerbate or make it more difficult as far as the families are concerned. You've got to be a healer, as it were. And the other important thing is this: the best way to deal with the past and is basically making sure that your present is a much more productive, happier one, and you'll have your moments. This is part of life. Life is a campaign, not a battle. It will have its defeats and its victories. This is part of life, right? Please, any other questions? There are a lot of people that I know. My cousin here, Amina, Zakia is there too. I know my wife is somewhere here also. Right, please ask questions.
Sheikh, just a general question. When are you visiting India again?
Inshallah, you know what, because of the lockdown, I haven't been traveling a lot. But inshallah, you keep in touch. Maybe we'll see next year when things are okay, inshallah. I'd love to come back. I really enjoyed it there also,
Sure thing. Thank you.
Right.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, Sheikh Idrisa.
Ji.
Yeah, this is second time conference with you. This is a wonderful session today.
Ji, alhamdulillah. Ji.
Thank you to the kindness of Light of Kindness, Mr. Saeed Hanif, given the opportunity. See, sometimes the people surrounding us, they are benefited from us. For example, one friend benefited from us, then he left, he have money, then they lost the money, I come back again, he hurting and they getting benefited. I don't know how to manage. If you cooperate with again that guy, same guy, or I will give advice more and more. He get benefited and then he hurt me again. So how will manage the type of people surrounding us?
Yeah, you see, you get all types of people, right? If you have been stung once and then stung twice, then you'll be silly, to fall prey to that individual. You can advise the person, and you got to make sure, right? The critical aspect is this: you got to make sure that in life you do not allow people to manipulate. You got to ask yourself, what was it that he has done or said to you that seduced your heart, and then you believed him. Now, if, for example, he has done something and it was totally out of his control, there's another matter. If he had a deceitful intent, there's another matter altogether. You got to politely say to him, you see, an important thing in life, Allah knows exactly what's in our heart. And sometimes we have to say no to some people. You understand? You've got to say no to some people, right? Or sometimes you've got to make sure that you have all the documents in place, everything else to protect yourself,
Yeah. So we will pray for Allah to get hidayat too.
Yeah, inshallah. That's what you need to do, you see. Because in the end, we are a giving ummah. We support each other. But sadly, in the ummah, you have all types of people, and we are not here to judge people because none of us are angelic ourselves, So that's what it's all about,
Thank you, Sir. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, any more questions? No more questions. Hello? Hello?
Yes. Can you please go? Yeah, there is a question in chat box. Can I read it?
Yeah, you read it for me, please.
Yeah. How about a visit to Canada since your cousin is here? I am a student of Sister Amina, who is an amazing teacher. May Allah Almighty show His mercy upon you all. Amin. Ya Rab.
Ameen, alhamdulillah. No, no, inshallah. No, Amina is my sister, in a sense, we grew up together. And I'm so happy she's doing great work there. And a student, I'm so proud of her. And inshallah, who knows, Allah gives me life, I'll be there, I'm the first one to take the flight and go there and meet people, meet Allah's creation. We feel the Ummatic consciousness is such a beautiful feeling, alhamdulillah.
Inshallah, inshallah. And even people are waiting for you to see in India also now, as our brother Abdul Alim said.
Yeah. Ji. No, inshallah, don't forget Bahrain also.
Yeah, inshallah. Warm welcome to Kingdom of Bahrain. Inshallah.
Okay.
We are
Yeah.
there to.
Okay, if there is no other questions.
Yeah, we can wind up.
If there are no questions, I'll conclude it by saying something.
Yeah. I
Okay.
think you can. Yeah. So now we are planning to give a vote of thanks. Before that or after that, you want to say something?
Okay. Let me say something first, then you can do the vote of thanks.
Inshallah.
And once again, Jazakumullah for inviting me. I hope it was useful, inshallah. Yeah, so what I'm saying is this, that, when you are present, when you are grateful to Allah, Allah will bless you, because the worst thing ever when Allah tests you, you say, Allah, why me? Why me? You'll realize in the Akhirah that Allah chose you because He cares for you. That was His way to get you into Jannah. Never say, why me? Right? Why me? Allah cares for you and loves you, right? And Allah will not give you a burden Allah will not give you a burden that you cannot bear. We must understand that no matter what you go through in life, you'll get through it. Right? You'll get through it because Allah knows our uniqueness, He knows our strengths and everything else. So what I'm saying, that we need to be positive, productive people. We must be people that are smiling, there's a sadaqah. We mustn't walk around as if we are constipated, right? We've got to, go out there, smile, be engaging, be helpful to everyone, right? And I want to say Jazakumullah to my beloved brother for inviting me here. And I'm so glad there are a number of people there that I know. So shukran, assalamu alaikum.
Yeah, most of them from South Africa also, and Bahrain also, from UAE also, and from India also, from Sri Lanka also. And it is a time I would like to invite our Brother Sulaiman Patel again for propose the vote of thanks. Brother Sulaiman.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. On behalf of Lights of Kindness, we would like to take this opportunity to thank Uncle Idris Khamisa for availing himself on a Saturday evening, alhamdulillah. And also, we had benefited from all the pertinent advices that Uncle Idris had shared with all the participants. May Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala accept it, and may Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala take Uncle Idris from strength to strength and grant Uncle Idris long life and grant Uncle Idris a befitting reward. Ameen Ya Rabbal Alameen. And also, we would like to say a special Jazakallah khairan to all our participants from different parts of the world. May Allah reward you also for taking out time to be part of this program and this great initiative by Lights of Kindness. Jazakallah khairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
By the way, our brother Sulaiman also from South Africa.
I know him. Alhamdulillah, I know him. I know him. Allah bless him.
So thank you so much. Inshallah, as I requested, inshallah, we will see next month, inshallah.
Inshallah, you take care, right? Assalamu alaikum.
Sure. Walaikum assalam. Allah Hafiz.
Thank you all for joining. Islam.
Yeah. Thanks, Anibhai and team.
Thank you, Brother Alim. Thank you, Brother Adam Ibrahim.
Yeah.
Thank you all. Jazakallah khair.